Hey, Lauren Tall here, and tried recording this before, and for some reason it didn't work. Probably a good thing, as I talked for 20 minutes. Kevin Costner, there's this video that's been going around about him talking about how we all need to study history. Well, it's kind of frustrating because what history? Which history? Which version of history? Because we have an administration in the U.S. right now that's trying to rewrite history. And oddly enough, okay, I commented on this video, and as soon as I did, someone created a Kevin Costner account and started following me on a social media site. Which is another thing I don't understand. I do not understand why people do that. I'm not going to believe it's really the actor or celebrity. I'm not interested in actually meeting a celebrity on social media. I have met celebrities in real life. I worked on sets for 5 years. There are certain celebrity actors who know I exist. And in fact, I think the objective for some people is to make me either one, look crazy, or two, they don't like the fact that these people knew me. I wanted to have an acting career, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not allowed to because my parents don't want me to be an actor. And even though I'm a full grown adult, I have actually had a celebrity actor who was in Harry Potter tell me that his parents in England watched him be an actor. He's a lawyer now, Jason Isaacson. And I didn't get in his face about it, but it really upset me because I'm like, excuse me, I'm supposed to obey my mommy and daddy. If my mommy and daddy don't approve, I'm old enough to have gotten a law degree, and you're telling me that if my parents don't approve of me being an actor, I'm not allowed to be. I needed to prove to them what I can do. Well, my parents should have known what I can do because I was a Maryland Distinguished Scholar. I was a GPA of a 4.0 and went to college on a full scholarship. I kind of know what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of. I hate accounting. I hate law. I don't like fighting. I don't like arguing. Most of my childhood I'd spent in my room reading books, and my parents think that, I mean, they've been trying to manipulate me into a job with health benefits. That's the wonderful history that I'm living. McCarthyism in a different form. And the lawyers of SAG-AFTRA have been blacklisting me from the building, and I guess sooner or later they expect me not to be able to pay my membership, and I'm kind of thinking they're having a party because I'm not allowed to be there. Because I wasn't born in Maryland. I was born in Virginia, raised in Maryland. I'm not from California, and I'm a girl. If I was a boy, maybe I'd have a lawyer. If I was a guy, maybe like, well, she should be allowed to do what she wants to do with her life. But she's a girl, therefore we have to dictate it. There are a lot of men who have law degrees who are working in the entertainment industry, but not women. No, I'm required to go be a trad wife to somebody. Or better yet, I'm required to be hot and sexy and beautiful to be an actor. Men don't have to be. Really, a lot of you men who are actors are not very attractive to me as far as I'm concerned, and I like actors. That's what makes me angry. The attractiveness standard only applies to half the sex, for the most part. They're guys of all different shapes and sizes who are allowed to be professional celebrity actors, and you guys all love them. But we women, no. Only if we look like we walked out of a beauty salon are we allowed to be actors. And I mean, even as a voiceover actor, I had a voiceover actor from Disney, a casting director, practically parade this girl around saying, this is the kind of person I want as a voiceover actor. Because she was proper and prim and looked professional and looked like she belonged in an office. And I'm like, great, because I don't. And you have no idea what I can do. Because those are the standards we live in America. That's why we have mental health problems in America. That's why we're not accepting people who are different. Everyone has to be the same and be a clone. History? I'm living McCarthyism. History repeating itself, except for my case, I'm a Democrat being basically apparently blacklisted by Democrats who'd believe in God when I stopped. You know, when I was in law school, I dated a guy named J.R. Gonzalez. I don't talk about him a lot. We went to the museum. We went to a museum to see an Etcher. I bought tickets to an Etcher exhibit. We went to a salsa restaurant and tried salsa dancing. I'd had an accident and busted my knee. That was not a fun night. And plus, his car got broken into that night, too. And then we went to see a James Bond movie together. And I went to his apartment, and I made him dinner. I cooked for him. Actually, oddly enough, I'm allergic to pork chops, and I wasn't a vegan at the time, and I made pork chops. Well, eventually we got around to talking about life, and I told him I wanted to come to California and work in the entertainment industry. He said he wanted to go to Texas and get into politics and be a lawyer there. And he said something about how his parents had a long distance relationship. And I was like, see, here's the thing. I'm a modern woman. For me, it was a relationship that was that right then. It wasn't something that I might wanted to stay in potentially for years. I wasn't, if it worked out, it did, okay. But I wasn't, obsessed with it. Didn't really care. I'd gotten to the point in my life where it didn't matter to me as much as being free to be who I wanted to be and being on my own, being able to be financially on my own. Because I spent 18 years with a father who treated me like I was property. So what did JR do? He started acting like I was crazy, starting acting like I was going everywhere because of him, and I was the ABA representative. And also, I found out he wanted my job. He wanted my job as the ABA representative. That pissed me off. I realized the only reason he even asked me out for a date, potentially, was because I was the ABA representative. And then he tried to push me to make him the junior ABA representative, which, by the way, I didn't have a junior representative. I was elected to the position of ABA, and the school or somebody decided to give me a junior representative, and a guy named Chris Stevens, who turned out to be a complete scam artist. I was a Democrat and a liberal, not a Republican. I was actually a good ABA representative. I helped create a panel of people to help me. Most of them, I believe, were women. I started a volunteer tax, like a volunteer tax group for law students to be able to help low income people with their taxes. I got a letter of thank you from the IRS for that. And I got an umbrella, an ABA umbrella, because I increased the membership somehow. And just by going to events and saying, hey, I'm the ABA representative, here's information about it. That's all I did. It wasn't that difficult. And then I created a pamphlet with everything I did so the person followed me, who happened to be JR, could have it and could pass it along to the next person or build on it. I'm pretty sure they threw it all out. And I don't know if JR kept the committees I created. I don't know if he continued with the tax program that I had, or if he just dropped everything to make, well, Laura didn't do anything and I'm not doing anything either. I don't know. But I do know that I was a good ABA representative for Catholic Law School, and I was a liberal one. And I didn't need some guy named Chris Stevens, who supposedly interned at the White House. And also, he claimed to be the Chris Stevens of Chris Stevens Steakhouse, which is not true. We didn't have Google at the time. This is in the 90s. So I had no way of looking him up to find out if that was true or not. He was full of it, basically. Very much full of it. I caught him walking out of a strip club in Northern California with the ABA representatives, which, by the way, I was the ABA representative of Catholic Law School at the same time that Crabtree Ireland, who runs SAG-AFTRA, was the ABA representative of Davis, which means we were probably both in San Francisco at the same time. And I don't know what he heard about me or what he thought about me or what was said about me, but I was never a bad person at all. I was dealing with an ABA junior representative who was a wild boy. We did take a tour of the wine. Like, we had an extra day. Like, the conference ended and both of us were there for another day before we were supposed to fly back home. So we both rented a car and together, to save money, went to Napa Valley and toured the vineyards. But I wasn't dating him. I wasn't involved with him. He was too much the pseudo, I want to hang out, smoke cigars, and be a power player, but not do anything for it, versus me, who was the ABA representative wanting to provide a service for other people and help other people. But in reality, I wanted to work in the entertainment industry because I wanted to work with actors, because I like creative people and I like fighting for the First Amendment and free speech. And I also liked acting. I loved acting. My biggest mistake, I think, was not doing acting at Catholic Law School. Well, because I could have gotten involved with the university theater program, but the only problem with that is they were against gay rights, which is ironic. I mean, I'm a person who was actually for gay rights, refused to do acting at Catholic Law School because of the fact, if I had auditioned to do a play at Catholic, they would have cast me in something. I'm too good at it for them not to have done something like that. Oh, wait, that wouldn't have happened. Yeah, it would have if I'd auditioned, but I didn't. Now I don't think I could get cast in anything because I don't look good enough. Because now it's all on looks. Because the American Disability Act doesn't matter. And McCarthyism exists because now it's about pretty people. McCarthyism was about getting rid of people who are politically different, right? Politically incorrect. Well, now it's about getting rid of people who are not pretty enough or perfect enough You can't be human and be an actor. Well, I'm human and I'm an actor. I am human and I'm an actor. And history is repeating itself. This weekend, if you watch George Clooney's little thing about McCarthyism, know this. I'm living McCarthyism, and I've been living it for 15 years. I didn't attack anybody. I didn't hurt anybody. I am full of rage. When I get angry, I write typos up to the wazoo. But I'm the same person who was a Maryland Distinguished Scholar, which means I have never done anything wrong in my life. Other than not obey my parents, apparently. Other than not live for health benefits and a retirement package. I loved being on We Audition. It gave me some hope, and then it was taken away from me by one little girl in Atlanta. And you know what? I want to know something. Does Micah Reed know Sean Wilson? Or I think what's Sean's? Sean Wilson, who went to American University. She said she was a conservative, and I'm not. She said SAG-AFTRA had a right to blacklist me, which I don't think they should. And I think now, and I'm wondering now if it was Catholic Law School or American University got me blacklisted because I'm supposed to want to be a casting agent. I don't want to be a casting agent because I would be miserable watching actors work while I'm not allowed to be one. Because apparently everyone needs to know that I'm not good enough to be one. But I am good at acting, and I love it so much that I want to be great at it. I don't care about being great at being an attorney. I don't care about winning a case or beating other people or winning the big lottery. I don't play the lottery. I don't like gambling. I just know that I don't have any dreams to live for. I don't. We're living in a world now where we're supposed to want to have facts. Facts, 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 facts. There are people who want facts, but then there are also people who want fiction. Art, because they need to express themselves and they need to feel things. I needed a career where I was allowed to feel things. Because the reality is, I'm dead inside now. I can't write poetry. I don't take pictures anymore. I don't do art anymore. I want to write an article about art. I went to an art show the other day. Met somebody from DC of all places. I'm not feeling well, though. I was sick. I had like an earache. The earache is gone. I took the LDN. But if I don't get on LDN, I'm probably going to end up with skin cancer, or because I also noticed if I've got something weird, like I have this weird thing on my arm that I think may be skin cancer. Where is it? Yeah, it's right there. It's like a little weird mole thingy. And it was really inflamed red. When I took the LDN, it went down. The inflammation went down. If I stay on the LDN, I think it's also preventing me from getting skin cancer. I've already had skin cancer once. And there's actual studies that say it helps you with your skin. It's not just about looks. It's about life and death for me. And it makes me frustrated because my parents are paying money for insurance that I can't use because there's no way to help me in pharma. There's no magic pill. And I'm not having them take my thyroid, so I'm forced to take thyroid medicine, which I've already tried taking and it made me sick. Probably because of my yeast allergy. So if the doctors out there want to take my thyroid and force me on thyroid medicines, you're killing me. But then I'm realizing you don't care anyways. People talk about psychosis and mental illness. What is it about people not caring if someone else dies? Not caring if they leave someone in so much mental anguish they don't want to live anymore. And you think I deserve it, right? Arnie Starr? Keep saying it's the past. To me, it's now. I was good on a set and I was good on acting, and you needed to kill that because you were jealous. Because you're just a featured background artist. And I bet I could read with you anything, cold read anything, and I'd be better than you are. And that's me attacking an actor, he would say. Criticizing him. That's my attack. He needed acting lessons. I will go to my grave saying that. That was me attacking an actor. It's me telling him, you need to take acting classes, Arnie. You can draw, but you can't act.